Welcome to Minister's Message. Today we're going to spend the first of 2 weeks thinking about the subject of mental health. Now this may be something that you know a lot about, or it may be something that you know very little about. Well, I've got in touch with two different people who do know a lot about it from their own personal experiences and also in their own careers. So we're going to hear from Mark Fleming just now. I did a little interview with him over Zoom, so let me just hand over to that just now. Okay, welcome Mark to the first ever interview here on Minister's Message. Brought you here to speak because we're talking today about mental health, and I know that you have quite a lot of knowledge in this area, and I know you because of sports chaplaincy. So I did a little bit of this on Minister Message a few months ago when, as I'm the chaplain to Broader Rangers Football Club, we were down at Hibs in Edinburgh playing in the Cup. But just to kick things off here, can you just tell us a little bit about sports chaplaincy and your role in it?
Sure. So I'm the National Director for Scotland for Sports Chaplaincy UK. And so my role is chiefly to source, train and appoint chaplains, not just at football clubs, but at a range of other sports now as well. But my focus is primarily football and also now shinty, which is really exciting. And we would have around 116 football club chaplains. And we've just started pioneering chaplaincy within shinty. And that continues to really grow at pace even at this stage. During the pandemic, which is still very exciting.
Today and next week on Minister Message, we're focusing on mental health. I'm going to share a little bit about mental health, and that's the main reason I've asked you to come on this week. How does mental health fit into sports chaplaincy or just sports in general?
Yeah, it's a very important aspect of the chaplain's work, because our work can be summed up by saying that we give pastoral support in terms of the mental, emotional and spiritual well-being, not just of players but of managers and of everybody involved in a particular sporting club setting. And so because mental well-being is very much part of what our role is, then obviously having an understanding around mental health and mental illness is vital for us. And actually, in this very, very increasingly secular world in which we live in, chaplains having that knowledge to help and support people in terms of their mental health has become a bit of a golden key that's opened up doors and given a recognition to their credibility as chaplains.
Yeah, we were just doing a mental health first aid training course with you just at the end of last year. It really was transformative for me. And just being able to try and take some of these new skills into our role as chaplain in our clubs. Just one more question. We'll have to have you back another time on Minister Message, but this is quite a big question. Do Christians then suffer from mental health?
That's a great question, Andrew. Well, it's not so much that Christians suffer from mental health, but Christians have mental health the same as everybody else has mental health. And the thing is, but quite often people get mixed in mental health and mental illness. So I would imagine the question is do Christians suffer from mental illness? And I guess the answer to that is no different if you'd ask me, do Christians suffer from physical illness? Because illness is illness. It can happen to anybody. God can be with us in the midst of that illness. God can heal within that illness. God can give us tools to cope with that illness, and he's also provided people with medicinal abilities and skills to help sort out that illness. So yes, Christians can experience mental illness. Mental illness is essentially a diminishing and a depletion of certain brain chemicals. Now that can happen to anybody. It's not a spiritual issue. It's just a physiological, psychological issue that anybody can potentially face. So it shouldn't be something that a Christian is embarrassed about or ashamed of. It's not a sign that they don't walk in faith and obedience, that there's an ungodliness in their character. Far from it. You know, for me, mental illness is more to do with neurology than it is to do with somebody's character, and therefore we need to see it as an illness that can be healed, and we can use certain things to help support our mental health as a result of that.
Thank you very much. You've given us a lot to take in, to think about, and certainly to pray about as well. Now, I know that you have become an author, so I know that you probably just have that book right beside you all the time, so maybe you want to plug it a wee bit.
It's funny you should mention that, because here it is here, Confessions of a Football Chaplain, available on Amazon, paperback, only $9.99. And essentially what the book is, it's a collection of mostly very humorous anecdotes around how chaplaincy developed within Scottish football, many of them around my time where I kind of pioneered what we do today. But it also contains a lot of serious elements to our work as well, how we deal with gambling addiction, bereavement, mental health within the game as well. And I also share my testimony within it as well. So I'm hoping that it, first of all, is a toolkit for anybody interested in being a chaplain, but also as an evangelistic tool, perhaps to give to people who might be interested in finding out more about the one who motivates us in all that we do as chaplains.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mark. And I'm sure some folks will like to go purchase that book. Well, thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you soon, hopefully up at Dudgeon Park for a game of football.
Indeed, yes. Roll on the vaccine. That's all I can say. I can't wait to get back to some form of normality.
Excellent. Cheers, Mark.
Okay, bless you. Bye-bye.
I think over the last few months during this pandemic, we've all become a bit more aware of our mental health, and maybe some have suffered from mental illness. I'm no expert at all, but I've become aware of my own, and I've had the liberty and the privilege of being able to be out running a lot more and taking that up as my physical exercise in these months. When I was young, I could run all day chasing a ball, but running on the road or in the countryside, I thought there was nothing more boring. But I had a mental block in being able to run past 5 kilometers. I could do 5k, but I didn't want to go past it. But over this last year, with a little bit of help from my friends, I was able to get past 5k and 10k and set myself a target of running a half marathon, and hopefully a bit further this year. But you know, it's not about the times, it's not about the distances even, it's not even about running. It was just about getting outside. It was about finding a way to not only help my physical health, but also my mental health, to exercise my mind. And I found in this past year, going and running around our beautiful villages, our town in Tain and in other locations, a great liberty and a great benefit to my own mental health. And so I hope perhaps to speak a wee bit more on this maybe next week or in the weeks to come. And I'm just so thankful that I've been able to go out and even come to places like this, or to run around our village here and praise God as we watch and read the picture book that He has created for us. Well, let's look ahead to Sunday here at Tain and Fearn Free Church. We begin our new series in the book of Exodus on Sunday morning. It's entitled A Way Out. Alistair is going to do that first sermon, which is called The Mess. We're going to see why the people of Israel needed rescue, and also the plan that God had to rescue them. So that's Sunday morning, 11 a.m. on our YouTube channel, and Alistair will preach that sermon. And then in the evening, I'll continue in the book of Galatians. We come to chapter 4, and the title is The Slave Trade. I was reading about John Newton. John Newton was involved in the slave trade before his conversion. Many of you will know, maybe not John Newton, but you'll know the hymn that he wrote. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. John Newton came to recognize how awful, not just that he was involved in the slave trade, but that he himself was a slave to sin and that he was set free by Jesus Christ. Do you know this amazing grace? Have you been set free? Well, thank you for joining with us on this episode of Minister's Message. If you're local or not, we would love you to come and fellowship with us on Sunday evening at 7 p.m. On Zoom. The details are on the screen at the moment. We're going to hear of what amazing grace God has done in somebody else's life. So until next time, may you have a blessed weekend. May the Lord be with you.